All right, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for October 1st, Thursday. My name is Athen. So the moon is shifting into Taurus today. This is actually a good placement for the moon. She's exalted here. This is about the sensual pleasures of life. The moon really, it's our emotional bodies, and she really gets grounded and really rooted when it comes to earthly things. So I think naturally our concern will be about the material aspects of life. I think a really good way of working with the energies here today is to connect to our senses, that hot meal, that hot bath, maybe that walk in the park. And naturally through that helps ground us. But I think we'll have that concern for the material aspects of life for the day. And I think really being grateful for the material aspects can really go a long way with this kind of transit. So let's go and look at the transit aspects here. Saturn's still sextiling up to that north node, quite exact. This one exact yesterday. And so Saturn, the planet of patience, the planet of that long road, still in harmonious aspect to our life path. So I feel like having that approach, having that patient approach to things is very supportive right now. Now that's going to be activated in the later part of the day. The moon is going to be opposing up to Saturn. So this kind of configuration, it's important to have that awareness of the emotional body, and at the same time have that awareness of that stern approach to things. Because Saturn, a very cold and very calculating planet, when it's in this sort of opposition energy up to our feelings, doesn't always feel very good. Now, of course, this depends on our personal chart, etc. But if there is any type of imbalance here, it's important to bring this energy into that harmony. And so the way it kind of works is that with Saturn, we might be seeing things very realistically, almost too realistically, that it becomes dense. And so it's important in that sense to have that connection to the emotional body, which will then balance that out. And that's where I really feel like connecting to nature, etc., with Taurus can help balance that energy. Now, vice versa, we don't want to completely negate and ignore anything relating to the material aspects of things in the sense of our responsibilities of that long-term approach. And we want to use this time to kind of have a status check. It's to see things, we have that objective perspective, we can see things for how they are, and to go from there and have that mastery so that we're creators of our reality and not sort of subject to our emotional body, and also not subject to our responsibility so that it becomes dense and too heavy. So that's the way I would work with this transit. Now, it is still, like I said, in harmonious aspect. The moon will be trining up to the north node, so there is positive energy going into the life path with that, especially when we do have that observation and mastery over the emotional body. So that'll be the high point. In the early part of the day, the moon does square up to Venus. So I think that extra attention on maybe bringing in the simple pleasures, maybe bringing in the material aspects of life and having that awareness of it without going to extremes here either. Again, another square, challenging aspect does signify that it's important if we are enjoying ourselves or if it is relationship related to have the awareness. And through that, we can stay nice and balanced with those things. And it can be very constructive if it's, again, having that gratitude, etc., and maybe even doing something active out in nature could be a really good way of working with that. Now, for those of us in the Americas, in the evening time period, the moon is going to be squaring up to Mars, so extra attention on our own goals, our own assertiveness will be important, but again, that can be very constructive. So the high point, certainly Saturn sextiling the north node with the moon opposition, having that awareness there, and with the moon in Taurus, the simple pleasures, good meal, nature, that kind of thing can really help ground us and root us. And again, it's all part of this integration from that lunar eclipse we had last Sunday in Pisces, which is in this sense perhaps integrating it into the daily spheres of what we're enjoying. It's that classic example of we can connect to that now moment. We can have that peace, presence, and harmony when we are connecting to our senses, when we're smelling, when we're hearing, when we're really paying attention to the earthly things around us. So that's how I'd read the energies of the day. I hope you guys have a great one. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.